morning. Welcome to yearly book summaries challenge where we start targeted for 200 book summaries. Today we are going for the first book in this new year. Let me share my screen and let me stop sharing. I hope so. My screen is getting visible. Is my screen visible and my voice audible? Unmute yourself and say, it's clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Screen also visible, right?
Yes.
So let me move this down and just a minute. Okay, fine. Leader Lifestyle Hub, a unique place for digital leaders to enhance every day. On this journey of this new year, we started the target of completing 200 books by the 31st December 2023. On this journey, the first book that we have selected is Change Your Questions, Change Your Life, written by Marilee Adams. Let us see the targeted audience for this book. The 32-year-old who has just been promoted by a managerial position, a 52-year-old newly elected school board member, or anyone who wants to live a life of curiosity and exploration. So let us start the book summary, and this source is taken from 4-minute books. Synopsis: Change Your Questions, Change Your Life will revolutionize your thinking with questions that create a learning mindset. Through a vivid cast of characters, author Marilee Adams invites us into a workplace fable from which you will learn how to revolutionize your personal and your professional relationships. Awareness of your thinking patterns will lead you to questions like, what happened? What are the facts? What assumptions am I making? Awareness of your thinking patterns will lead you these three questions. What happened earlier? What are the facts? What assumptions I am making? Instead of seeking fault and blame, let us see a small review of this book. As I read Change Your Questions, Change Your Life, I found myself wanting to share each lesson with anybody willing to listen. This book's ideas and questions are functional tools to shift away from conflict and into progress that we are aimed for to progress every day. I have put my internal observer on alert. When I find myself asking judgmental questions, I turn and look for a switching question to change my direction. You will learn that in addition to judging others, we are also quick to judge ourselves. I recommend you to take digital notes or physical notes and share in the comments. Every one of us operates from a mix of learner and judger mindset. There are two mindsets. One is learner mindset and another one is judger mindset. With effort, we can cultivate the seeds of connection by watering and fertilizing rich beds of acceptance, curiosity, dialogue, and creativity, while pulling the weeds of blame, rigidity, assumptions, and fear. Let us listen from the author, Marilee Adams. I have a vision of workplaces and a society of individuals, families, institutions, and communities that are vibrant with the spirit of inquiry. Additionally, you will learn how to implement ABCC choice process. First, A stands for ask yourself if you are judging. Second one, take a breath. Take a deep breath and get curious about circumstances. Finally, C stands for choose to ask learner questions. The insights, diagrams, and stories in Change Your Questions, Change Your Life, 12 powerful tools for leadership, coaching, and life give you the tools to shape positive interactions in every facet of your life. Activate your curiosity with 3 top lessons. Activate your curiosity with top 3 lessons. Write down these 3 lessons in your paper or digital notes. The questions we ask ourselves and others either open doors for learning or lead us in a judger pit. The questions we ask ourselves and others either open doors for learning or lead us into a judger pit. Switching questions have the power to move us from a path of judgment to a course of learning. The author found 12 questions that can shift individuals and groups toward comprehensive and creative possibilities. We will see each and every question of the 12 questions, whatever the author found in this book summary. Question thinking offers us the opportunity to flip from fixed mindset to growth mindset by changing the questions we ask ourselves and we ask for others. Asking what happened versus why am I such a failure sets a tone of inquiry instead of defeat. Suppose you have received a failure, instead of asking what happened, you need to ask yourself, why am I such a failure? Let us learn how to ask questions that will transform our relationships and lead us toward possibility and creativity. Let us see top 3 lessons. Lesson number 1. You have the power to choose your reactions, whether to learn or whether to judge. Thoughts, feelings, and circumstances fill every waking moment of our days and spill over into our dreams. As recovering judges, our first opportunity for change presents itself when we observe our thoughts and recognize their nature. Questions like, what am I responsible for? Write down each and every question on the paper. Then afterwards, you can take your own time to answer each and everything. Questions like, what am I responsible for? And what are they thinking? What are they feeling? And what are they wanting? Steer us towards rational choices, solutions, and win-win relationships. In contrast, when we ask, why are those so stupid? Or why bother? We find ourselves stuck in a pit of judgment. Imagine receiving a call from your teenager who just backed your brand new SUV car into the shopping cart or at the grocery store. Or an email from your boss highlighting every benchmark you did not hit over the last quarter. Maybe you received a summons for jury duty and it's scheduled for the same week as much anticipated vacation. All of those scenarios elicit thoughts and feelings. How should you deal with them? Will you ask, why am I so careless? Why am I a failure? Why bother? Or instead, what happened? What are my choices? What's best to do right now? Events, good and bad, flow through our lives like a river. In our life, events flow through like a river, whether it is a good or bad. When you mindfully paddle, you master the ability to skirt rocks and find less turbulent waters within the rapids. Asking learner questions keeps you moving forward. Let us see lesson number 2. Like a life preserver, a switching question can save you from drowning in a pit of misery. Imagine yourself at a long rectangular conference table. Imagine you are sitting in the long rectangular conference table, waiting for your meeting to begin. For 10 minutes, the woman to your right side has been rapid firing opinions about your child's primary school, about your childhood, which her children previously attended. You endure her complaints about the teachers, the lunch program, and the new mathematics curriculum. She even has an opinion about how the teacher or janitor mops the floors. Running through your mind are questions like, how did I get seated here? And who does she think she is? Who does she think she is? If you stop to think about it, you are asking yourself judger questions about your judgmental person. Ironic? Two judges do not lead to possibility. How can you turn the situation around? What is the possible way? Feelings of anger and frustration alert your observer to your judger mindset. Now is your opportunity to shift into questions that will keep you out of the judger pit. A switching question gives you freedom to explore options like what does she need? This is the powerful question. What does she need? And how else can I think about her? How else can I think about her? When your observer wakes you up, you can flip the switch to learner mode and turn the conversation around for both of you. Practice asking yourself questions like, what assumptions am I making? What assumptions am I making? And how can I be more objective and honest? How can I be more objective and more honest? One switching question, one small switching question has the potential to free you and your companion from the judger pit. Before you know it, you will be paddling alongside each other on calm water. Let us see the top 12 questions that author is guiding us in the lesson number 3. Lesson number 3, use these 12 questions to guide your success in personal and organizational explorations. If you want, you can take the screenshot and write down each and every question answer in detail. When you encounter situations in which you are frustrated, feeling stuck, or want something to change, ask the questions listed below from different perspectives. You can substitute the word you or we instead of I. You don't need to ask these questions in any specific order. Not every question fits every situation. The goal is to incorporate learner questions into your daily thinking patterns rather than going into the judger pit. As you regularly reference and ask queries from the list, you will find yourself traveling the learner path while opening yourself and everyone you interact with to possibility. Write down these 12 questions and answer this in your free time. What do I want? Write down this question. What do I want? Whatever it may be. Your wants. Write down your answer. What do I want? What are my choices? What are my choices right now? Which assumptions am I making? Is the third question. Which assumptions am I making? What am I responsible for? Is the fourth question. What am I responsible for? Or else, what are my duties are? What am I responsible for? How else can I think about this? How else can I think about this? How else can I think about this? What is the other person thinking, feeling, and wanting? What is the other person thinking, other person feeling, or other person wanting? What does that person needs? Is there something am I missing? Is there something am I avoiding? Write down yes or no. Is there something am I missing? Or is there something am I avoiding? What can I learn from this particular person? What can I learn from this particular situation? What can I learn from this particular failure? What can I learn from this particular mistake? What can I learn from the particular success? Write down your answer in detail. What can I learn from this particular achievement or failure? Let us go for 9th question. Which action steps make the most sense? Which action steps right now on this day makes the most sense? 10th question. What questions should I ask? If I don't know the clarity, if I want to approach my colleague or if I want to approach my boss, what questions should I ask? How can I turn this into a win-win situation? How can I turn this into a win-win situation? How can I turn this into a win-win situation? Finally, 12th question, what is possible? What's the possible solution? What's the possible opportunity? What are the possible offers? What are the possible services? Write down your answers for these 12 questions. Make a copy of the list and keep it handy of your own questions as well. See you in another book summary. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing, share your comments in the below. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.